Alright, so welcome to the Hardware Canucks product showcase. So here's a case that is sure to get plenty of people excited. If you've been in the computer building scene for any time, you've likely heard the name of the Cooler Master 690 case thrown around more than once. It's arguably one of the better regarded, sort of budget series style of cases, as it offers practicality and functionality for a very reasonable price. Well, check it out. In January 2010, after nearly 3 years as a top selling case in its category, the 690 is getting a complete makeover and will be reintroduced as the Cooler Master 692 Advanced, which is what we get to take a look at. The case brings with it an updated design including black interior, as well as incorporating many of the features that you find in Cooler Master's more popular cases. The case is set to be launched at under $100, making this a very attractive solution for regular users, enthusiasts, and modders alike. So let's take a look. The case keeps virtually the same dimensions as the original, and the exterior design is somewhat similar, but many of the features have sort of been bolded and more heavily accented. There's a solid mesh front panel with dust filters and 4 external drive bays. The top hosts the power and reset buttons, along with 2 USB and audio input and eSATA connector. There's also a fan LED on-off switch, and the advanced model also includes this very cool hot swappable drive tray right at the top. The side panel is covered but has space for 2 fans and supports 4 different fan sizes. They also say there may be a windowed side model sometime in the future. At the back we have holes for water cooling tubes, a 120mm fan, I/O area, 7 PCI slots and an additional vertical slot, and then the bottom mounted power supply. The case is constructed out of rigid steel that doesn't feel cheap or flimsy, and the toolless panels are very easy to access. The outside has dust filters behind every bit of mesh for easy cleaning. Now, the black interior is a great surprise on a case in this category. While it is hidden behind a covered side panel, it gives it that uniform look all around and is one less thing for modders to have to worry about. The case is raised by a ½ inch by these truly massive rubber feet. The space at the bottom allows users to fit in a larger than average power supply or install a bottom mounted radiator, which we'll see later. The front has a blue LED 140mm fan, and there are 6 3.5-inch screwless drive bays. Now, there is a ton of cable management spacing around the motherboard tray, and then up the back, thumb screws for the expansion slots. We have the rear 120mm fan, 4 5.25-inch screwless ROM bays, and to top it off, there's a CPU backplate opening and space for a rear 80mm fan. And we can't forget, at the top, another 140mm fan with space for a second right next to it. Have you lost count of the fan spaces yet? The Cooler Master 692 Advanced supports 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fans in total. Now, most of the fans are optional, of course, but really it's like a giant fan held together by bits of metal. Starting on the installation, we were surprised to find that despite its relatively small stature, the case was surprisingly easy to keep wiring clean. Cooler Master has included plenty of cable management spacing throughout the case, and this means that there's a lot of room to hide wires and it keeps the front clear. You'll notice the lack of cables sort of down in front of the power supply. This is because you're able to run them around the back through the holes in the motherboard tray and store them wherever you can make room. The case is also well designed for modern hardware, say like our 11-inch long 5870 video card. They've taken the drive tray design from the half series, meaning easy installation, and they've also included an 2.5-inch SSD drive tray. Now, they have moved away from the push button 5.25-inch mechanism, and the new switch style is easier to understand, but it requires a little more fiddling to get the drive lined up just right. Another fun feature you'll find with the advanced case is an innovative video card retention bracket that works to reduce the stress of heavy video cards on the motherboard sockets. This is especially handy if you're going to be transporting the system. Last but not least, we have water cooling installation. Up at the top, there's room for a 240mm rad, plus spacing for fans, but Cooler Master has included a second area for a radiator if one isn't enough. By removing the 4 bottom hard drive bays, you open up space for another dual rad on the bottom and improved airflow from the front. So that wraps up our look at the Cooler Master 692 Advanced chassis, the evolution of the 690 into an enthusiast, modder-friendly design that offers some of the best from the company. Really, everything about this case just comes together to make it a well-rounded package. You have the sub-$100 price tag, and this is the price point where you really start to see many companies make sacrifices on quality. Cooler Master has tossed in a whole bunch of new stuff, not skimped on the quality, and still maintained the same reasonable price as the original. And they've included features that you find on their premier line of cases, notably the toolless design and black interior, and you can't forget about the exceptional airflow. The case likely has more holes in it than actual material, so the airflow design and ultimately your system temperatures are really up to you. But they've included things like the dust filters, the ability to mount multiple sizes of fans, and just the general wiring layout inside the case that all go into help making this thing super modder friendly. This is the first case we've had the pleasure of reviewing in 2010, and if it's a sign of things to come, we are in for a fun year. The 692 Advanced is a damn good value chassis, and thanks for watching the Hardware Canucks product showcase. As always, feel free to leave your questions and comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more from us. Thanks for watching.